the line in the sand, burn the boats. There's no turning back. These are all things that we think about when we think about a point of no return. I had one of these a couple of weeks ago. I had just got done having lunch with some coworkers, and with a belly full of barbecue, I decided that I'd go do a lunch ride. A lunch ride for me is like a 6-mile mountain bike ride, a quick loop, and then you get back to work afterwards. So I drove out to the trailhead. I looked out, it was perfect conditions. The sky was just a little bit gray. Maybe there'd be a little rain shower in the afternoon, and it was nice and cool out. I jumped on my bike and I started like pedaling up that first climb, and it was a brutal 1-mile incline at like 15 degrees. After the first 100 meters or so, I was spent. I was exhausted, but I gritted my teeth. I put my head down and I just kept pedaling through it. I eventually got to the top and I looked out and I saw the horizon. I saw the city of Golden down below me. I thought, this is an awesome reward. Then when I looked back, I saw the first sparks of lightning start to happen on the horizon. And those gray clouds had turned into big, fat, black ones rolling right towards me. A little voice came in my head. And the voice was of wisdom. It said, hey, you should turn back. You should probably make it back to the car. The other voice that came into my mind was a bold voice. It said, to charge forward. You can do this. You're confident. You're awesome. And you earned this single track all the way down. So what did I do? Of course, I charged forward. I jumped on the bike and I put the first mile beneath my wheels. Droplets of rain started to hit. After the second mile, those little droplets are big, fat, torrential downpour. And I'm sliding all through the single track, barely keeping it on. I come around the next corner and an impenetrable wall of gray is before me. Before I can figure out what this is, I start feeling the first sting of little missiles and BBs hit me. I had just pedaled into a hailstorm. Pea-sized pellets were raining down on me. So what do? I jump off the bike. Like a child, I hunker down in the fetal position on a bank, and I take the full brutality of the storm. For the next 20 seconds, I'm considering my life, my decisions, and what I would do next. I thought, I can still turn back. I haven't hit the point of no return yet. It's still closer back to the trailhead. But then I thought of something else in my mind. I thought about a friend who did a keynote a couple of years ago. And he talked about the difference between cows and buffalo. When a herd of cows sees a winter storm approaching them, what they do is they turn and they start walking away from the storm. Inevitably, that storm catches up to them, prolonging their pain and suffering. Buffalo are different, though. When buffalo see that same storm, what they do is they wait until it's almost upon them. And then as one, they turn towards the storm. They lower their heads and shoulder to shoulder, they charge through the storm, bursting out the other side, taking the maximum brunt of the storm, the maximum pain, but coming out the other side just as quickly. Right then, I decided I'm a buffalo. I'm not a cow. So I get on the bike, and for the next couple minutes, I take the pain. I go through the hailstorm. I come out the other side, and I see a lone runner approaching me on the trail. We stop. We look at each other, smile, and we both know that we have found a kindred spirit out there on the trail. I said, yeah, I guess there's no turning back now. I said, yes, I guess so. We had hit our point of no return. The next couple miles were not that eventful. I slid around a little bit, but what I thought about in my mind was that interaction and how when you hit a point of no return, it's so much better when you do it with someone else. I thought about some of the best points of no return in my life. I thought about when I was in the Army. I went to airborne school. I did my first jump out of an airplane. And I remember standing in line with 30 other paratroopers, looking at that red light and seeing it turn to green, and then shuffling to the door, turning and jumping out to let gravity take hold, and knowing that there were hundreds of other kindred souls in the air with me. I thought about my wife when we were dating, and 8 years ago on a September afternoon, when we found out that she was pregnant, we were both terrified. but we knew that we would do it together. We charged into this side by side. It strengthened our relationship, and that child has enriched every part of our lives. So what I think is when you hit these points of no return, you never come out the other side of it the same way that you were. And I imagine that many of you will hit these same points. I look forward to hitting these points in life also. And when we do them, what I hope we do is slow down a little bit. Maybe be a little bit more careful than I was, consider the options. But when you decide to step over that threshold into that point of no return, do it boldly, charge through the storm, and come out the other side. Thanks.